Our roundtable discussion at the National Farm Machinery Show is brought to you by AgriEdge Excelsior from Syngenta and by Kubota Hay Tools. Forage forward.
Welcome back to U.S. Farm Report. It's our marketing roundtables from right here at the National Farm Machinery Show, 50th anniversary of the National Farm Machinery Show. On with me today, I have Matt Bennett of Bennett Consulting, Bob Utterback of Utterback Marketing, and Mike North of Commodity Risk Management Group. So much to talk about. Let's start off by talking about this USDA report. A lot of debate over the corn being used for ethanol. Bob, let's start with you. Are you in agreement with what USDA has to say?
Well, initially, I think like everybody, we was kind of caught off guard by the ethanol figure raising it. It didn't kind of make sense. But then we start, when you get into the weeds with it, I think everybody's starting to come to accept it, that the oil, lower oil prices, the thesis is cheap oil will increase consumption, therefore ethanol in the mix will be required. But the feed usage being down has got everybody really scratching their hair. So I think USDA in this report probably give us the best demand projection so that they can give. And I don't think you're going to see any future increase. I think that's the takeaway point I would come with.
Mike, do you agree with that?
Well, I agree from a consumption standpoint that probably is right on line. However, the question we have to ask ourselves is, are we in a place at a plant level where we can continue to produce ethanol if margins remain compressed? Because it's one thing to have consumers potentially using more gasoline. It's another thing for a plant to say, I'm all in on this. We're going to just keep her at full capacity, even though I'm in the red on margins. It's going to be really tough to play that game. And there could be some contraction from the plant level. If there is, it's hard to make the number work.
Switch gears just a little bit. Also in that USDA report, U.S. soy carryover. Some people saying that was a little too aggressive. What do you think, Matt?
Well, I think originally you would understand, obviously we're front-loaded on soybean exports. We know that most years, although again this morning we had a really big number. I'm of the opinion that as we move forward, it's going to be awfully hard for us. Not only is the dollar kind of working against us on our exports, but we got to understand, we have a very big supply coming out of the southern hemisphere, and we can talk about the Brazil crop being a little bit lower all we want. But guys, this is the biggest crop that's ever going to come out of the southern hemisphere, biggest we've ever seen. And so in my opinion, as we move forward, we have to understand not only are we going to potentially see some cancellations, but we probably are going to have a hard time, really exporting a whole lot of soybeans at all. Now, on the other side of that, we have exported a ton of soybeans already. That's a very good part of the story.
Exports, are you bullish or bearish?
I'm with Matt. I think in the short term, we're probably a little bit bullish on exports. But as we work deeper into the spring, we are up against some stiff headwinds that will likely contract exports and put a lot of cancellations on the sheet that take away from the numbers that we're boasting about today.
And I think one thing, we think about China, if their economic growth rate would slip even from 7 to 6, I think money will tighten up, and that would actually put a little more pressure on the bean market, so they would not expand their pork and aquaculture as much, which would keep pressure on beans.
Bob, USDA raised production out of Argentina, kind of mixed in Brazil. Are we really looking at that massive of a crop coming out of South America?
I think so. I think the Argentina is neutralized the northern part of Brazil where the dryness is. Overall, it's a big crop. And dovetail with that, they're holding a little more healthier supplies than they should domestically, just like the U.S. corn farmer and bean farmer is holding a little undomestic supplies. So we got good supplies, they got good supplies, and the global markets are a little soft, and the dollar's getting strong. So we're kind of the perfect storm for the bear, and the bull's going to have to really work. He's going to have to do something to really make this market do, which is weather.
Bob, you and Mike were here last year. We sat on this stage, basically the same situation we're in right now. The prices were a little bit depressed. We were kind of a really bearish tone, not only with us, but our audience as well. What makes this year different, or is it different?
It is different. There's a year of low prices in the register now. We've come through a different type of a price cycle this last year than we had coming out of 2013. Guys are starting to pull their horns in a little bit. We don't have Vladimir Putin looking for more vacation ground. I mean, he's kind of out of money and not really in a place to go for more land. The bottom line is we're sitting on bigger supplies, too. And as you continue to grow supply, you continue to back yourself into a corner where markets are going to really struggle to come out of the box and go to higher ground.
You agree with that?
Yeah, I do. And I think one thing I want to encourage everyone to understand is that by all means, this is where we were at last year. Going out and doing meetings, Everyone was worried about profitability, and if you're going to tell us that you weren't in February last year, I don't believe you, because I talked to a whole bunch of people and they were. The number one thing I try to tell guys, and I think these guys would agree, if we know what our true cost of production is when we do get that 50-cent rally, and hey guys, we got a 50-cent rally last year we were all begging for, and we got it. What did we do with it? And my contention is that we didn't do enough with it. Moving forward, I want to know where we're at. That way is, you know what? I'll be able to make that decision more on a business based than emotional.
Well, we talked about 2015, but we're really looking at the Farm Bill now, trying to predict price through 2018. So we're going to get their thoughts about that when we come back on U.S. Farm Report.